When we look at that, and we look at what's going on back over here, it's just a tad too much there. So then all of a sudden there's a lot of pressure on this foot to start off with, when we actually want about 55% of the pressure there to begin with. And then we want you to rotate around that axis. Now, interestingly enough, from a pure biomechanical standpoint, if you're putting pressure on that when you're swinging it through, we can keep pressure on that as you're swinging it back. Okay? And it still should not hurt. If you're collapsing on the way through, well then we're going to struggle. So the idea is that we keep you pushing in the ground with both feet. So essentially, if you were over that side and then move over that side even more, we're only hitting it off one leg. Now, if I gave you a bit of push, if you're standing on one leg, you'd lose your balance. But if you're pushing both feet into the ground, we're going to create a nice little force coupling there, and you can rotate around that axis. Now, as soon as that hub moves, it's a little bit more complicated this and well above my pay grade. But as soon as you move that hub, you'll change the contact point with the ground. Okay?
Yep.
So when you see these guys, now he's 20 years old and he's quite capable, he is quite capable of moving it further than that, but we don't want him to. For the simple fact that he's, as soon as he does, he goes to the least point of resistance and starts moving around and doesn't hit it that well. Now, he is a big human being.
Yep.
He hits it miles and he plays pretty good. To the extent where, he's 200th in the world or whatever.
Not fair enough.
So, the idea of this is going to be difficult to replicate. And as I said, from a club fitting standpoint, there's going to be possibly different shafts that we put in there because you're launching it quite high and spinning it a reasonable amount. And now you've moved forward just a tad.
Yep.
Now you make good quality contact with it, but I think you can make better quality contact with it more consistently. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's where I struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a couple of good holes, but I have more bad holes than I do good.
Yeah, I think we're all a bit like that, but I just want the bad ones to become a little bit better. So if we take that as being
Feel in that video there, it looks like the two
inside,
over.
yeah, oh yeah, just a little,
Yeah.
just a little. That's my main concern because that's where it went back,
Yep.
and that's where it's coming down. That's a big shift.
Okay. Yep.
And then that depends on what we're putting in your golf club, because that's where the shaft finishes. That's where it starts. The lie angle then gets affected by that. Yeah.
Yep.
Does that make sense? So there's a couple of little things that we need to sort of look at before we go and play silly buggers with golf clubs. I think.
Yep. Yep.
Because I wouldn't like to see you spend your good hard money doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see you spend a little bit of time working on that, and then go and spend your good hard-earned money on that. Okay. In that perfect world that we all live in, as I said.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Does that make sense?
Mm.
And you've got. It's clearly that you've played a lot of good sport in your lifetime.
Yeah.
Because you move it back to a similar place and you can hit really good shots.
Yeah.
I'd just like to see the good ones stay the same, but the bad ones get better.